The city of Chicago has always carried a rhythm of its own. The hum of trains overhead, the chatter of neighbors on stoops, the distant honk of traffic even late at night. But in the fall of last year, that rhythm felt offbeat for me. I was 29, and for the first time since college, I was unemployed. The accounting firm I'd worked at downsized suddenly, and my job was among the cuts. At first, I told myself it would be temporary, that I'd find something quickly. But weeks stretched into months, and interviews kept ending in "we'll call you back," though no one ever did. Bills piled up. My savings drained faster than I imagined. And worst of all, the first of the month loomed like a shadow I couldn't escape. Rent was due. I sat at my kitchen table in my small apartment, staring at the lease papers. I had no way of paying. I dreaded the conversation I would have to have with my landlord, Mr. Thompson. Mr. Thompson wasn't the stereotypical landlord you see in movies. No grumpy old man pounding on doors, no greed shining in his eyes. He was a quiet man in his late 50s, tall with graying hair and glasses that slid down his nose when he read. He lived in the same building, 2 floors above me. I often saw him tending to the lobby plants or fixing squeaky hinges. He had been a widower for some years, and though polite, he always carried an air of solitude. That day, I walked up to his apartment, heart hammering. I had rehearsed my words, apologies, excuses, promises. But when he opened the door, I almost forgot them all. "Jessica," he said warmly. "Everything all right?" I swallowed hard. "Mr. Thompson, I can't pay rent this month." There it was out in the open. I braced myself for anger or disappointment. But he just nodded slowly, as if he'd already known. "I figured as much," he said gently. "I've seen the job postings you've been applying to. The economy's rough right now." I blinked. "You knew?" He smiled faintly. "I notice things, Jessica. I'm not blind." My throat tightened. "I swear I'm trying. I'll find something soon. Please just give me more time." He raised a hand, stopping me mid-plea. "Jessica, I don't want your rent this month." For a moment, I thought I had misheard him. "You don't." He shook his head. "I want you to focus on getting back on your feet. Worrying about money when you have none is like drowning while trying to build a boat. Let yourself breathe first." Tears stung my eyes, not because of shame, but because of relief. True to his word, Mr. Thompson didn't ask me for rent that month. Or the next. Instead, he checked in on me every so often, never intrusive, always kind. Once, when he knew I was skipping meals to save money, he brought down a homemade casserole. Another time, he knocked on my door holding a stack of library books. "Accounting guides, interview prep, even a few novels," he explained. "Figured you could use both work and escape." His kindness wasn't pity. It was practical, thoughtful, and quiet. And little by little, the crushing weight on my chest eased. With rent no longer suffocating me, I had the freedom to focus on rebuilding. I applied to jobs with new energy, spent hours refining my resume, and even started freelancing small bookkeeping gigs online. Each evening, when exhaustion hit, I'd take a walk in the neighborhood, sometimes running into Mr. Thompson in the lobby. "How's the hunt?" he'd ask. "Hard," I'd admit. He'd smile, adjusting his glasses. "Hard things build strong people." His faith in me became something I leaned on, even when my own faith wavered. One chilly November evening, I invited him in for coffee as a thank you. As we sat at my small kitchen table, he shared pieces of his story I had never known. "I wasn't always a landlord," he said. "I used to teach high school math. After my wife passed, I couldn't stay in the classroom. The silence was too heavy." I listened, my heart aching. "I'm so sorry." He nodded. "Life knocks us down, Jessica. Sometimes harder than we think we can bear. But we stand anyway. And sometimes we help someone else stand too." It was then I realized his kindness wasn't just generosity, it was empathy. He understood loss, fear, and rebuilding. By December, I finally got the call I'd been waiting for. A mid-sized accounting firm downtown wanted to hire me. It wasn't glamorous, but it was stable. When I told Mr. Thompson, his face lit up with genuine joy. "I knew you'd get there," he said. I smiled through tears. "I couldn't have done it without you." With my first paycheck, I marched up to his apartment, envelope in hand. "Mr. Thompson, here's the rent I owe you," I said firmly. He pushed it back gently. "No, Jessica. You don't owe me money. You owe yourself the chance to live without fear. If you want to repay me, then do something kind for someone else when they need it." I insisted, but he refused. And in the end, I understood. What he had given me was never about money. It was about dignity, hope, and a reminder that people still cared. Months later, life had found a steadier rhythm again. I was working full-time, slowly saving money, and even laughing more often. But I never forgot that kindness. So I started volunteering at a local shelter on weekends, helping others with resumes and job searches. Each time I sat across from someone who felt lost, I remembered how it felt to sit across from Mr. Thompson. Looking back now, I realized the truth. Mr. Thompson didn't want my rent. He wanted me to stand again. He didn't want me to sink in shame. He wanted me to breathe. And in giving me that gift, he gave me back more than an apartment. He gave me back my life.